The creative partnership between the Tower of Youth and Access Sacramento invites media-engaged teen members of the Youth Broadcast and Media Association to learn, produce, and broadcast their own programs using a professionally equipped mobile television van. 7 teens were trained to become certified to operate and use the Access Sacramento van to make their creative mark. Their individual stories capture this generation's discovery of the technology revolution that has just begun to change everything in our world.
All right, my name is Miles Haley. I'm 17 years old, and I'm a recent graduate of Cosumnes Oaks High School, and I'll be attending Cosumnes River College this fall semester. I'll be directing the shoot with Access Sacramento, but before I explain that, I want you guys to know a little something about myself. So my first encounter with digital media started my freshman year. I was new to high school, obviously, and I sat down in my chair and I seen on the projector in my first classroom was that their broadcast or their announcements were not through the intercom like in middle school. They were a live broadcast news announcements, and I was just astounded. Like, I did not know that it was even possible in the high school level. And my English teacher, Miss Lawson, she seen my eyes light up as I looked at the projector, and she knew that I would find some kind of interest in this. So she took the time out of her day to set up an interview with my broadcasting teacher, Mr. Youngs, set up another interview with the panel of directors. By the time my freshman year was halfway done, I was put into a video production class, which was the prerequisite to being in the broadcasting academy. And so my sophomore year rolled around, I finished my video production class, and I was officially put in the class. Now, out of just pure nervousness and anxiety, I wanted to stay low. I wanted to do any job that didn't have to do with being on front of a camera. Until one of my directors told me randomly on, I think it was a Wednesday, they said, "Miles, you're going on as an anchor tomorrow." And right when I stepped out of that classroom, I was nervous. My hands were tingling. I could barely sleep at night. And I was just pure nervousness. And by the time I walked out the studio after doing my first on-camera experience, I had a bunch of people come up to me, "Miles, I seen you on Wolfpack TV. Miles, you did so good today." And I'm just being bombarded with all these accomplishments and accolades. I fell in love with the feeling. So I felt as if I can do this once, I can do this a billion other times. So by the time my junior year rolled around, I secured my first permanent anchor spot as a sports anchor for Wolfpack TV, and after every show that I did, I felt more and more comfortable with being on camera, and my experience level also grew with it. And so by my senior year, I completely mastered the on-camera position, and while I was mastering the on-camera position, when I was off, I took roles into different other techniques needed in broadcast media, which was video editing, field reporting, operating the cameras, etc., etc. And it just built up all this knowledge about media, specifically broadcast media, and expanded my knowledge on the subject. Doing this truck certification with Access Sacramento has not only boosted up my knowledge of professional news studios and broadcasting of live events around Sacramento, it's also put me on the map for other companies to see what I have to offer. It'd be awesome to travel and basically spread my knowledge nationwide to worldwide and put me on the map.
Camera 1. Cameron, ready?
Camera 1 here. Hello everyone, my name is Cameron Clark. I'm 17 years old and I go to Natomas Charter Performing Fine Arts Academy. As a child, I was always interested in the world around me and how everything worked. I was a very curious child. As I grew older, my parents, of course, started to introduce me to various types of media. The first type of media being animation. I was first introduced to Disney movies at around 3 years old. It allowed me to expand my creativity, and it created a new medium for me to explore the world around me. That key development, that key decision to keep watching animated movies made my mind, it expanded my creative side of my mind. So in middle school, my school did not have various media programs and whatnot, and YouTube started to become a popular thing, and I had started watching various YouTube videos mainly for comedy and entertainment purposes. But then one day, I had stumbled across this one video which was basically a tutorial for this 2D animation software, and I was like amazed. I was like, why is there a tutorial for a piece of software that allows you to create, animations? I thought this was cool. This was like, YouTube is no longer just something that I can use to entertain myself. It's now a medium that I can use to learn. And this video is what sparked my brain and led me into becoming who I am today. After this first video, I started to wonder, well, if there's a video on how to animate stuff and render it out and share it with friends, I wonder what other possibilities there are. So throughout the course of 6 months or so, I started doing various Google searches for how to make a TV show, how do you make a movie, whatnot. And at first I saw, the software looked like something I could do. And at the time, I had been very immersed in the video games and the computer, so I spent a lot of time on the computer. And in the 8th grade, I decided, I'm pretty experienced with animation and whatnot, but I wonder what the live action side of media is. I wonder what it's like to actually broadcast something. Over the course of a year, I started experimenting. I was just so euphoric learning all these things. I learned how to use Adobe Premiere Pro, Photoshop, After Effects, and I learned how to do 3D animations. Not well, but I started, dwelling into that realm of media. And I was just like, this is so cool, the possibilities are endless. I can tell my life story through animation and whatnot. In high school, I made connections through various organizations such as Access Sacramento and the Alabama Youth Broadcast and Media Association. I met a lot of people that I work with today, and I'm glad I met them, because without them, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have any connections to the industry. And yeah, that's my story. Camera 1 ready.
Okay, camera 2. Lucas, ready?
Hi, my name is Lucas Simonchu, and I'm a junior at Mesa Verde High School. And I've been a filmmaker for at least, I would say, 7 years. How I got interested in media was in different ways, but the number one reason is I was watching Jaws one day with my dad, and I realized that I love monsters and I love the art of film. So I just started making videos with my mom's point-and-shoot camera, and I would post them online on Facebook. And then I learned about YouTube, and I started posting them on YouTube, and I started getting views, and I started getting hits. But I was still young and I didn't really want to do it. But then when I got into middle school, they put me in a special needs classroom because I had very bad anxiety attacks and anger issues. So they put me in all these art classes, and none of them were working, until one day the vice principal, she said, Lucas, let's put you in media since you like making videos. So eventually I grew to the art of making videos for the news and writing stories and setting up lighting and setting up audio. But I didn't really get involved, really like it, until high school, because I met my teacher, Mr. David Bizantz, who told me anything and everything about the film industry. And I tell people every day when they ask me, why do you do film? And I say, it's because it's a way for me to tell people my creative stories. But the main reason why I do it is just because I love it. If you do film or you do television for the money, you're really not going to get anywhere in it, because you're just doing it for the money. I think the film industry is a perfect place for anybody who loves it, and I think that everyone should at least give it a try. My teacher, Mr. David Bizantz, told me about a program called YBAMA. Then once I got into YBAMA, I loved film even more, because I got to learn about film festivals. I got to do what we're doing now with Access Sacramento. And it's just an amazing thing, and I think everyone should join YBAMA. So that's basically me.
Okay, camera 3. Slade, ready?
Hi, my name is Slade Carpenter. I'm a Bear River graduate. I'm 18 years old, and this is my story. I started off not really into the media arts very much. My dad pushed me more towards like extreme sports. I actually learned how to ride a dirt bike at the age of 3. In middle school, I was able to take my first film class. My teacher, Mr. Odes, provided with all the cameras and tripods and all that stuff, and basically just sent me and my classmates out to go make a film. I was the most excited out of the group, so I ended up writing, directing, editing, and even acting in the film. The film was called The Beggar and the Coin. That was the first time I had ever been able to really use any kind of film or video or anything. I didn't really think much of it, but all I knew was that I liked it. A little bit about my family life is my parents got a divorce when I was only 9 years old in 3rd grade. I didn't really know what was going on. I just wasn't very happy. During those times, my dad, the only time I ever got to see him was when we went to go to the movies or something like that, and I didn't care what movie it was. All I just cared that is I got to go see my dad and watch a movie with him. So I guess that's kind of how I took an interest to filmmaking. My high school teacher, Mrs. Reef Snyder, she was the teacher of our media arts class there. At first I took the communication arts class, which was the first level, and then I moved on to advanced TV production my junior year, and it wasn't until my senior year actually where I was introduced to YBAMA. I just decided that I needed to find a way into the industry, and because I really liked film.
Audio technician. Dominic, ready?
Audio here. Jesus. Hello, I'm Dominic Herrera, a junior of Grant Union High School. Now let me tell you a bit about myself. I grew up in a very large family that had simple rules. The rules were, don't harm each other, don't break anything, and don't hurt yourself. That was about it. And so, I never really had the guidance of saying, go towards this, that is what you want to do. Or go towards this, that's what we want you to do. It was basically, hey, you want to do it? Do it. So I was kind of lost without that guidance. But I guess you could say that helped me over here. Because if I was able to find that path from them, I might not have found the path that I'm on right now into the digital media. Because the path I took here was one full of trial and error. During middle school, I found this class. It was computer programming. Yes, with all the different codes and all that. But it allowed me to find myself in a bit of media. It allowed me to understand how a computer worked. I even went to a competition at UC Davis. It was a team of 3, and I was the one that would check over if all the programming was correct. I couldn't write it, but I could check check if it was correct. And our team got second place. Now that was something. But when I went to Grant High School, I didn't find a computer programming class. And I didn't know what to do after that. Because for the past 3 years, that's all I was doing, computer programming. So here I am at Grant thinking, what can I do? During that year, my English teacher, Mr. J, he told me about how he was starting a new academy, the Arts Academy. And I learned at the Arts Academy, it involved computers. And I thought, that's something I would do. That is something I might be interested in. So, just last year, I found myself in that class. I found many interests. I found digital art. That's one thing that I'm surprisingly good at. Audio's ready.
Okay, computer graphics artist ready. Isis?
Computer graphics, I'm ready. My name's Isis Garcia. I'm a junior at Grand Union High School. And when I was small, I would love technology and watch videos on YouTube. That's how it all started. But nobody ever introduced me to media, actual media, until when I got older. But I was very interested. I loved watching makeup tutorials, just tutorials and music videos, even movie trailers. I love going to the movies and watching movies, so I've always been wondering how do they make this stuff? Do they just record and how do they edit, or what do they do? So then throughout my school years, nobody really taught me anything or introduced me to media or anything, not even my family. They didn't really know anything. So then it came up to high school, and my freshman year there wasn't really any type of media class or anything. But then towards the end of the year, there was people saying that there was going to be a new academy for my sophomore year. So then I was like, okay, what is it about? I want to know more. And then my sophomore year, I got introduced to this new arts academy, which is digital media. And you learn about cameras, how to do videos, how to edit, do graphics. And I loved the part about doing graphics, how out of nowhere, out of nothing, you can digitally make a picture. And we also learned many other things, and I really liked all this stuff, and I was learning so many things. Everything was coming at once, and I was just okay, I want to learn more. So then my teacher, Mr. Akbar, he told me about this this truck training program by YBAMA and Access Sacramento. So I was okay, I want to learn more. And we've been doing this truck training for a couple weeks now, and we come here and we learn many more things, much more professional, with more in depth. And I'm just so amazed of what I've learned and what's coming my way. We're going to be doing jury for the film festival that's coming up, which I attended last year, and I love watching films and just clips of students doing videos from how just like me, they're learning and they're already making videos, and I'm very interested in that. And I want to start doing videos myself, or just working with cameras and stuff like that. And I just want to see what comes my way, and I want to do something and be involved in this and just in life. And I just want to learn more. This is computer graphics. I'm ready.
Okay, assistant director. Maury, ready?
Floor director here. I'm ready. Hi, I'm Maury Montalvo, and I'm 16 years old, and I come from Grant High School. I'm a junior there, and I live near the Del Paso area of Sacramento. My path in discovering media, it was really weird. I wasn't really into media, or anything. It all started off just fandoms that I had over TV shows and, binge watching on Netflix. And I don't know, I just really liked watching TV. And I guess I wondered how they made those shows, knowing that it wasn't real. I was just watching people on TV and all these special effects. And I just got curious and got into it. Other than that, I was really fascinated by all the X-Men movies and superhero and special effects and all that stuff, and how they made it from like cartoons to like, I don't know, they came with movies with real life people doing the same thing as the cartoons. And I was just really amazed, and out of that's where all the interest came from. But nothing really caught on until my freshman year. Towards the end of the freshman year, my ELA teacher told me about a new program they wanted to start called the Arts Academy. It's standard for Academy of Rhythm, Technology, and Stage Production. Everybody at that time knew through my school years that I was a really creative person, and I liked drawing, and it was all about art and everything. And the way he got me into it was actually saying that I could draw digitally, and I was just like, okay, I'll do it. I want to learn something new, and I had always wanted to learn media. So starting sophomore year, I got into the class, and out of nowhere, I became practically like the academy leader. I was always on top of things, getting things done. And we worked with different software. They taught us how to use Premiere, Photoshop, Audition, Audacity, and all these software that were used in the industry. And they taught us camera techniques and basically everything in general that had to do with media. We had our own broadcasting show at school. It was a morning announcements, and that was always fun to watch. And from there on, one of the field trips we had inside the academy was a film festival that they told us about, and our class decided to go, and I really liked the film festival. It was they were showing films, of course. It's a festival about films, and it was just a bunch of high schools going there watching movies that were made by students or non-students around the country that were just as interested in media, and we were just watching their films. But after we went, we got back to school. But later that year, in the end of sophomore year, my Spanish teacher, which was part of our advisory board on the Arts Academy, she told me about this one meeting they were having at the Art Institute, and it was about career success, and I want to be successful in my career, so I took the chance. Why not go? And from there on, I met Dr. Bill Bronston, and he introduced me to Yabama, where I am right now. And from there on, here's where I am, just learning about live broadcasting. And right now, I'm even assistant director. And it all just came by, and I guess life is just trying to tell me that this is my path.
Excuse me, I have to put my team together to get ready for this shoot.